Hey everyone, welcome to a second edition of Poor Cooking. I'm Tony D. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm a little better at shooting these things now. I haven't done a poor cooking episode. It's poor cooking, not that my cooking's poor, it's just that I'm poor. So one of the cheapest things you can make is spaghetti and meatballs, and I'm really good at making that. So we're going to get started here. First, we're going to heat up our pot here, and we're going to make a spaghetti sauce. Because I showed you how to make meatballs in the first one, and I have some meatballs frozen, and I just made some sausage on the grill. So we're going to show you how to make the sauce that goes with it. All right, so first you're going to need your pot, and I got this tall pot because, well, I'm going to explain that later why. We got a little olive oil, so you want to just put a little bit in, not too much, just enough kind of to coat the bottom a little. Alright, all good Italians have olive oil. Next up, we have some diced onions. Now I dice some red onion. I like red onion. I think it keeps better. White onions is more traditional. You could certainly add some fresh garlic in there if you had it. I don't have any fresh garlic, but I'm going to add some garlic powder, and you're just going to want to put that all in there. You hear it sizzling. And get yourself a wooden spoon. This is going to be crucial. You need a wooden spoon. Not just to stir, but you're going to need it later. And basically you're going to want to cook these onions until they're clear or translucent. So I'm just stirring them around here. They're red, so they won't be totally clear like the white onions, but they serve the same purpose. Already smells good. Since I don't have any garlic, I'm just going to throw a little garlic powder in there. Get the garlicky smell going. I'm going to turn down the heat. I have it on high, but I'm going to turn down to medium. I don't want them to brown. You want to get them just to get that clear kind of look to them. All right. Next up, I have a giant can of tutto rosso tomato puree. And I'm going to pour this whole can in there. And this is going to be the base for my sauce. Now I still have it on medium, but I'm going to turn it down to the lowest setting possible in a minute, but we want to get it heated up, a little bit heated. Now the wooden spoon is very important because you want a wooden spoon left in your sauce so it doesn't burn. As long as you got the wooden spoon touching the bottom, your sauce won't burn. Now I'm going to put a little extra water in here, swirl it around the can to get the last bit of tomato puree out of there. It's okay to add some water. It's all going to boil off. You know, the object of this game, it's kind of like barbecue. You're going to have to cook it for a long time. That's what you want to do. All right. So once you get this thing bubbling, and this will bubble pretty quickly. I think it's already bubbling. I'm going to turn it down to low. Okay? Now, I have here my sausage that I just made on the grill. And I'm going to take 2 pieces and put them right in there. This is going to add a lot of flavor because that's what pork does. And since I got a little pork grease here, I'm just gonna pour that right in. Oh yeah, that is flavor country right there. Now, in terms of your spices, I like to put oregano. Oregano is going to be more like a pizza sauce. If you use basil, it'll be less so. And put a little oregano in there. Kind of running low. Coronavirus. Stir that up. It's already smelling awesome. Okay, and then gotta add my meatballs. Now I made meatballs ahead of time, and I froze them. So this is something you could do. I highly recommend it. I'm just going to take 2 meatballs, put them right in. I've got 2, 4, 6, 7 more for the future. And I'm going to freeze the rest of the cooked sausage for the same purpose. And then I have at least 4 meals of spaghetti and meatballs with meat. I'll have 2 meatballs, 2 sausage, and all the pasta I want. I've got tons of pasta. And the pasta I will be using, I tend to like the thin spaghetti. This is Barilla. It's thin spaghetti. It's good. It's solid stuff. You only got to cook it about 6-7 minutes, depending on how you like it. In terms of salt, I could put a little garlic salt in there. Not too much. You know, this is going to be a whole pot of sauce. I'm not going to eat it all in one sitting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, after this cooks, hot. After this cooks, and after I eat my meal with the meat I've cooked, I'm going to then take the rest of the sauce, put it in a container, keep it in the fridge, and then when I want spaghetti and meatballs again, I'll get it out, I'll put it on the pot, I'll add some water, I'll heat it up, I'll throw the meat in there, let it simmer for, now I'm making the sauce, and it's 3:30 now. I'm not planning on eating until at least 5:30. So this is just gonna simmer. I'm gonna come out here once in a while and stir it. So good 2 hours. You could start this in the morning, let it simmer all day. You know, if you got a big crowd of people and you're gonna use all this sauce at once, maybe you're gonna have 3 or 4 cans. You might, if you want to chunk it up a little bit, you could do the, you know, the stuff that's more chunky. Instead of puree, you could put, you know, a puree and then like whatchamacallit, more of the chunky stuff. You could do tomato paste. You know, I'm not doing the tomato paste this time. I don't think I need it because most of this is going to just cook off over the next 2 hours. So I don't need it to be super thick, and I don't even think I have any paste. Let me take a quick look in my cabinet, see if I have it. Yeah, no, I don't have it. I forgot to buy my tomato paste, but that's okay. This should last me all 4 of the meals. I'll have pasta, 2 sausages, and 2 meatballs, which will fill up this big boy. A little salad on the side if I still have lettuce left by the time I get to the 4th meal. And sadly, no Italian bread, which I will definitely be missing in this meal because you should always have Italian bread when you're eating spaghetti and meatballs. But the key to this really is the simmering. So we're going to let this simmer over 2 hours, and then it's going to be delicious. And if you forget about it, you let it on too long, don't forget to keep the spoon in there, it won't burn. But if you leave it on too long, it gets too thick. Just add some water, let it sit for a little bit, let it, you know, all integrate there. If you like it thick, just keep cooking it. If it's too thin, just keep cooking it. All the moisture will go away and it'll thicken up. So that's, and the cost on this is pretty low. I mean, pasta's cheap. Your big cost is the meat, but if you buy a package of sausage and a package of ground beef, you make the meatballs like I showed you, you make the sausage, and then you freeze it, you can have it over several meals. So the cost is cut over several meals. So I think that package of sausage was like $5. Maybe the the ground meat was, I want to say, around the same. You know, you add the pasta and the various other ingredients. I mean, you're looking at about maybe 12, 15 bucks total, spread over at least 4 meals. That'll be a pretty good meal, pretty good sized meal. And if you're not as big as me, you may not even need that much food. You may say, whoa, one sausage and meatball is more than enough for me, and I'll eat plenty of pasta. And that's what you kind of want to do. So in this virus time, you know, you want to think in terms. And I may even cut back on the meat. Just if things get really dicey, I'll just cut back on the meat, and I'll just eat 2 pieces of meat and, you know, go my merry way and stuff myself with pasta. And if I run out of meat completely, I'll just throw something else in there. I got some Vienna sausages and Spam or whatever. I'll just throw some meat in there just to get a little bit of protein going. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. That's it for Poor Cooking. I hope you enjoyed this second episode. And bon appetit on a budget.